We have to?
I'm not saying it.
I hope it's a racial slur.
Devin, my boy, my motherfucking snacker. I need you. Hear me out here. I need you to go to your best corner store and buy your best corner store hamburger.
Corner store
Eat it. Eat it. Feel better after you eat it. Take a nap if you have to. Have yourself a good bathroom. Weigh yourself afterwards. Before and after. Build that confidence up. And get well soon, okay?
Sad thing is that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, most of that's never gonna happen. But no, Devin, if you are listening to this for some reason, I hope you get better. I hope you feel better soon. Stop dying.
The key point to this, Devin, get the convenience store, get the gas station hamburger. It'll always make all your problems go away. Because if it does, because even if it makes your tummy,
it'll clean you right out.
Yeah, if you feel a little rumbly in your tumbly,
It'll
that's working. Because any problems you have, you'll just shit them right out.
It'll also possibly fix all your problems because there's a chance it might kill you.
Yeah. Just shit out everything that's bothering you. Just shit it out. Open it afterwards.
Ultimately,
take a nap after a good toilet.
Ultimately fixing all your problems forever if it kills you.
Like when Tar made fun of me when I had salmonella, and the pain was so much that in order to win the fight, I had to take off my shirt. And Tar was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, I'm fighting for my life in here.
I'm fighting for my fucking life in it. That's the actual meme I want. I don't want to use that pedophile R. Kelly image anymore. I want a GIF of Alex taking his shirt off and saying, "I'm fighting for my fucking life out here." That's what I want. I'll never get what I want. I'll never get what I want in this real world.
That's okay.
Right, okay. So, first things first, now we've got that fuckery out of the way, I'm just gonna say things as they are. So Devin's really not doing great. Devin's in hospital as of right now. Devin's gonna be taking a bit of a hiatus from the game anyway. He's got some stuff.
Yeah.
He's got some stuff he's got to sort out, and that's okay. He'll be back when he's good. But the other one is that Caitlyn won't be back. Caitlyn has left the game. You will see what happens to Eleanor in this very episode. But then from on that, there won't be anything else. I guess it's addressing the elephant in the room, or at least in the sense that Wednesday there will no longer be an elephant in the room. I've been thinking of that joke all day, so, you know. Thanks, guys.
Get out.
I appreciate it. But yeah, we move on. We push on. Let's do the questions. Since we've all rolled the initiatives already, and fucking Tox decided, I'm going first with a big 25 crit. Let's go.
I try my best, and Tara just has to cut in front of me every time.
You did really well with 21, and then it's like, nah.
It's still a piece of shit.
We all are.
I'm not a piece of shit.
There you are.
I'm nice.
But yes, we can do a question to anyone that's here now, and it helps you because there are less people here now, so there's less people to have to worry about asking a question to.
We're not gonna bully with questions now, though.
I know. I'm so upset. I can't bully certain people anymore.
Does Freyr have any special hair care routine for body hair?
Okay, yeah. So I imagine when he and Tox before they got into the AAF, I imagine that it was a little bit harder for him to take care of his arm hairs and his leg hairs and stuff, because that would imply that they had a place to sleep that probably had showers and stuff, and they probably did, but they probably moved around a lot. So I imagine that they probably put that lower down on the priority list. But I imagine that pretty much when it starts to feel sweaty and then kind of gross. You know when your hair gets like that. You know what I mean? When you know, yeah, yeah. When he starts to feel like it's a little like it's not cleanly or hygienic. What he'll do is he'll go into a shower. And I imagine the hair on his head is probably similar to the body hair that he has. I don't think it's like humans where it's like pubes on the rest of your body and then just head hair, which is vastly different. I think it's relatively the same. So what I imagine is that he probably has shampoo that allows that's able to like cut through the fur, if that makes sense. And then he'll use either his own claws or he'll use like a brush or a comb that can really get through all of the thicker hairs on his arms and legs.
I imagine his claw. I imagine bear claws probably work pretty decently as a brush. Honestly.
Yeah. There's either going to be the claws or it's going to be like a brush that can get through it. I imagine that if he wants to be doted on, he probably has a brush that he'll have like Tox use on him because it probably just feels nice. But
I'm imagining like a comically large, like you get them at an arcade like by paying with tokens comb that just gets used on his back, just like a comically huge one.
But yeah, for the most part, I think it's when he's showering stuff. It's mostly just with his claws he'll use to get through the thicker fur, and then he I actually don't think he blow dries those or anything like that. I think he just lets them air dry and he shakes it off.
Okay. Well, I trialed this in a previous game, and I'm actually going to keep doing it, which is whenever someone asks a question, I actually ask them a question as well. So I have prepared a question for Tox, and that question is thus. We know that Tox is very obviously driven to get rid of slavers, of those individual types. If Tox was presented with an opportunity to go after a large-scale slaver, and that opportunity involved ditching the rest of the group and ditching the AAF as a whole, would Tox take that opportunity and leave behind the AAF knowing that will have consequences?
Tox would consider a personal goal like that probably over any sort of like noble or lawful like responsibility from the AAF. She doesn't prioritize the AAF really as anything more than this is keeping me out of prison, so I don't really. She doesn't care much for it beyond that. She doesn't think she's really doing anything here as helpful as what she was doing before. So yeah, if something presented itself that was like a big hit, and the possibility to free a lot of people or to end a slaving ring of that size, like considerable size, she would probably definitely be willing to compromise her position in the AAF. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. So Freya, it is now on to you. You may ask a question and be prepared to have a question asked to you.
Yes. So last session, because I remember stupid shit like this.
Yeah.
Last time we had a session, Tox asked a very specific question of what Freyr thought of her, like what his actual thoughts were for her specifically. And so I'm going to ask essentially the vice versa of that question. What is Tox's true full thoughts on Freyr? And how does she think of him?
Spicy.
There's a lot, I guess. It's kind of a complicated thing to try to summarize, but I'm going to do my best to do that.
I believe in you.
Yeah. So Tox does not, like... There is a sense of, I guess, like, companionship with Freyr, though it is not innately, like, sexual, like has been stated in a lot of past things, or at least joked about previously. She views Freyr kind of like a family member, though not necessarily like a brother or a cousin or something. It's like he has been there for her since she kind of woke up from just a bad time in her life. So with that said, he's always been there for her in those times, and was kind of the reason she started viewing things outside of her kind of single-minded goal beyond where she's at. So in that sense, it's I'm not sure how to call that. It's not a it's not like a complete disregard for him as like a potential partner for other things, but it's also not like she is like wanting him to dick her down.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Is there anything specific you thought for like thoughts wise, or is that sufficient as an answer?
That's fine.
Okay.
There's complexities to it, so that's good. So my question for you kind of links into the Tox question though, which is, if you were presented with the choice of staying with the AAF and staying particularly with the team that you have, or leaving with Tox. Like Tox says that she's leaving. She's got a big amount of intel on a huge slavery ring, and she has an out of the AAF, but it means running away essentially. And she says she's giving you this opportunity right here. You have to choose: stay with Ezekiel and with 17, or flee with her. What do you think he would do?
So this is actually one of those unique things where Frere wouldn't hesitate or think twice about standing by Tox and going with her. But what I imagine is because he is friends with these two that are currently here. He liked all of them, but the two that are still with us right now currently, is that he would not only 100% no hesitation be like, all right, like, when do we leave, kind of thing, because he's always been by Tox's side, and he's kind of made the statement of that he's always gonna be there until he dies. So, and he's gonna do his best to make sure he dies before Tox. So, like, he's always gonna be there for her, always gonna be by her side. But what he probably would end up doing is leaving a note or a message of sorts for the rest of the team, essentially, to find out where they've gone. He wouldn't just leave without leaving some clue of where they might have gone, essentially, because he respects them enough as friends to be like, hey, listen, Tox is my first and number one priority, all forever and always, but you guys are my friends, and I don't want you worrying about us.
Okay, that's good. We will then move on to the last but not least, the 17th. So please ask a question and be prepared to be asked a question.
Okay, I guess this is the question for you, but specifically, I guess, to Hector.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Hector had a chance to get his glory back and to capture the person that he let go, whether it's to kill him or bring him to justice at the cost of us, would he do it?
See, now that is a very interesting question, because Hector is currently trying to deal with what he would do if he comes into contact with that person, and how he would deal with it. So if he was presented with an option of, you can capture this person, or you could get that glory back, but it's at the cost of the rest of your team, it would be a very serious social moment for him to pick, because if this was episode 1, episode 2, he would 110% say, yeah, I would abandon them, and I would go after that person, full stop. But with what's happened, especially after the Building 43 incident, he's found that he wouldn't be able to make that choice as easily as he would before. So that's as close as an answer as I can provide to that one.
Okay.
And the question we have for you, obviously, is so 17 is, as we are aware, an awakened, and that typically means that you're an iron forged that has been granted for some unknown reason sentiency and a soul, and that means that you begin to consider yourself a person, or at least a being of sentiency. If you found other beings like you and they offered you a place among them, but in doing so you had to leave behind the team, or even more so, you had to be prepared to kill the team, would you be able to do it?
I'm gonna say no,
Interesting.
simply because of the fact that 17 is attempting to find out more how to become what it is to be considered a living being. So to kill off the people that they have grown the closest to, that they would consider friends, would be a complete contradiction to what they're attempting to do.
Interesting. So yes, that's our question time opener. We've had some very interesting kind of decisive decision making. So we'll just go through a very, very quick kind of reiteration of what happened last time. After the little misunderstanding with your group and the Seven Dragons, you guys were approached by two individuals who are working with the Siren Queen. That's Cyrene and an individual known as Killshot Kate. And both individuals are working for the Siren Queen directly underneath her, and stated to you that the Queen wishes to have an audience with you. You didn't attempt to fight it or attempt to say no, which I think we all knew you weren't really going to fight it, but you went along with them in two separate groups, seemingly taken through doors that you are sure didn't exist before you were shown them. That took you to where you are now on the map, a area that seems to be the Queen's abode. You had a little bit of time sitting in the kind of the lobby area, and then you were eventually invited for a dinner with the Queen herself. When you had the dinner, it seemed to be that you found your mind being probed by the Queen, who seems to have just as much, if not more, power on a face-to-face level than she does from afar, being able to seemingly probe your actual mind and, to some extent, forcing you to provide each other with some of your secrets. She has claimed that the reason that she's doing this is that something really bad is happening, and that she needs people like you, but she needs you to be open with each other, because if you're to work together to deal with drop my mic. If you're to work together to deal with the problems that are coming, you don't have time for this dancing around little secret bullshit, and essentially she needs you to get that out in the open so that you can actually be ready. Some of you deeply disagreed with this, that someone should provide their secrets or tell things about themselves that's very personal only when they feel ready, when they feel that they trust individuals. And obviously what the Queen essentially did do was a massive breaking of that trust in trying to, forcing you to say it. You did all have some kind of meal, including 17, who found herself somehow able to experience taste even without actually consuming food. We also, the main little bits that we found as well is that there seems to be something about Tox's past involving not feeling comfortable with sitting at a table like this because of it not being specifically her place or her not being allowed there. And that, as we discussed in some of our questions, that there seems to be some kind of failure that took place in Ector's past involving a renegade member of the AAF that they were tasked with tracking down and dispatching, be that bringing in or killing, we don't quite know. But when they come to conflict with this individual, they found that they knew them and hesitated during the conflict, and that hesitation is what cost them one of their arms and both of their legs below the knee. And since then, they've kind of been on the AAF's shit list, essentially, for not being able to complete the task they were given. They were put on the shit list and not demoted, but pushed away into something that perhaps they weren't really prepared for, or just to get them out of the way, and that be leading this Black Ops team. They feel a deep resentment at this, and a deep, like I said, a very deep sense of failure, even in themselves. So that's where we're going to pick off. As I said before, Devin's not here. He's not going to be here for a bit, and Caitlin will be leaving this. So please don't be surprised if those two characters don't say much through this. That's basically because I'm not going to play their characters. Some things will happen that will explain where they're going to go, but I'm not specifically going to play their characters.
I'd be more surprised if they did say shit in this session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, you guys are now free from the Queen's dining room, and you will all be directed back to the doors which you came in on, and unless anyone has anything to do in the Queen's kind of area, then we will leave this and this area and we'll continue into what's happening. But if you want to do anything in the area, if you want to say anything to Kate or to Cyrene, now is a good chance.
Or we'll just wave at them happily and say, bye, thanks for bringing us here.
They both kind of, Cyrene sitting on the table itself, Kate kind of just leaning up against it. Both seem to wave back at you, Freya, in almost strange unison, as if they somehow timed that. And then a door shall appear right in front of you. So if you wish to exit now, you may.
On the way out, Fire will do a little message thing specifically to Tox with his because he's got the earbud or the throat mic or whatever.
Yeah. The messaging device. Yeah.
And we'll just message to Tox and ask if it's okay if they talk when they get back to the base, as it were.
Yeah, Tox will nod.
Okay.
Fire will put on a big smile. The biggest and possibly fakest people might have seen. But it's big, and it's there.
And it is a smile.
It is a smile.
You would very obviously notice that as you leave, that Kate and Cyrene don't follow you. They gesture towards the door so that you may leave, but they don't actually follow you. They seem to be staying put for the time being. So when you leave the door, you are back into the arena, and you would notice that now another fight has begun. People are very attentive in the fight that seems to be going on between this individual.
It's Duke's older brother.
It's Cyber Duke, and this individual. They seem to be getting prepared for a fight. They've just had their announcement, and the cameras are going live on them, and everyone seems attentive at this. This is essentially the main event. This is what your fight was essentially a warm up for. So everyone's eyes is on what's going on.
I really hope he's smoking that cigarette in the fight.
Oh yeah, no! Oh no! He has the cigar. The cigar's in his mouth. It is being smoked.
Great.
Fur will let the group know. He'll basically like, listen. There's someone I gotta meet up with real fast. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, and hopefully it doesn't get violent. I'm hoping I can work things out, smooth things over. You know.
I hope it's not who I think it is, says Ector.
Don't forget your clothes.
What clothes?
These clothes up here that you left behind at the bar.
Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up, Kara.
Farrell will begin walking towards. He'll take the long way around.
You would notice as you get there that a certain individual.
I'm not standing on the table. That's a table, right? I'm not gonna stand on the
Yeah,
table.
it's fine. A certain individual seems to very promptly get up on his way towards you. He seems to be ending some kind of telephone conversation as he goes up to you and goes, the individual I was hoping to see. Where did you and your delightful companions disappear to?
Oh, well, me personally, I was working on a very nice contract. A certain individual.
Contract, you say? What kind of contract?
Oh, the kind that it gets me better and bigger names when I start fighting again. In there.
Well, interesting. Talking about your fight, I admit I didn't wager much of a chance on you to the point where I placed a small sum on your competitor.
Well, I don't blame you. New face here, I came in saying a lot of stuff. Big man, big mouth.
You are indeed a big man, and you do have a big mouth. But I wanted a moment of your time, because an individual like you has some prospects in a place like this.
So I've been told.
I'm sure you've already been told by the hoodlums up the top, the individuals who fight and kill each other over drugs and turf.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You trailed off after drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, he said the two kinds the hoodlums who fight and kill each other over drugs and turf.
Yeah, I'm the other one that likes to deal with what's the word? Illegal acquisitions.
The transportation of less than consenting individuals.
Yeah, him, that guy.
Yes, well, the fact of the matter is that all of them are small, tiny specks on a much bigger image. They can offer you nothing, really. What do you want to be, a part of a gang protecting a small piece of turf and killing other people for it? Or you want to sell little vials to individuals? If those are the height of what you aspire to, then by all means, align yourself with them and allow yourself to be taken over by petty things like that. However, if you have grander ambitions, the real big plays, there are a consortium of individuals that I know of who are more than welcome to provide you a seat at the end of the table.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna work with pretty much anyone that I think will help me out in the bigger picture. The person that I just finished making a nice friendly deal and some deal and dinner with, essentially, has assured me of that, and I'm looking quite forward to that stuff. But at the same time, I still have a job working with other individuals that I don't necessarily like, but I'm working with to once again further my own goals. So really, as long as nothing you have me do disrupts what I think or feel is morally right, then I'll do pretty much anything
See,
for anyone.
that's a problem. You confined your ability to grow by your morals. Why?
Why do I personally?
They offer you nothing but to hold you back in the end of the day.
Well, unfortunately, it's a little more complicated. There's someone within the group that they changed me for the better, and are actually the reason that I've begun to grow as rapidly as I have. They gave me a slight taste of freedom, and ever since then I've been growing and clawing my way frantically until I've reached the point that I'm at now, where I'm finally looking to live instead of just surviving. And that person I owe everything to, and more importantly, they have my heart.
He
It
smiles.
might not be something that you can understand or respect, but they're a big reason why I am the way I am and why I was able to make that declaration and why I'll be able to keep it through and through. It's because of them.
Cute. He at this point he takes out a cigar and seems to light it with a snap of his fingers that seems to produce a small flame. He takes a drag of it and blows some smoke above himself and then looks at you. You seem to think that you're free. I don't know what gave you that prospect, but you're really not.
Not yet.
No, and you won't be unless you look at the bigger picture and don't ally yourself with small fries, like I've said. Those people over there, they're the people that make money off of the small things. The people that make money off of, like I said, drugs and turf. I'm someone that does far better than them. Everything I do is legal. I can do it out in the open. And yet, everything I do makes me millions more than them.
Burr just kind of smiles back at him on that, and it's just like, I there's a little bit of a misunderstanding here that I think like I said, I will ally myself with any and everyone, whether they're bottom feeders or they're weaker than me, or as you call them, small fry, because I'm not going to limit myself to power that's solely relied on money. I'm going to be the power that people with money want, and a commodity that they want to continue to look for and to try and earn. That's the kind of power I want.
Dear Freya, this is Tzion. All power comes back to money.
He's just like, you know my name. Mind if I know yours? Or at least something to call you or for you to go by?
You can call me Dominic for now.
Nice to meet you, Dominic. You already know my name, but, courtesy and stuff. Name's Prayer.
Well, charmed. If that is your decision, it will be your decision. But understand that the people that you make deals with, they're not going to be so helpful when they're just corpses.
Well, isn't that the whole point about getting stronger? That you can stop things from like that from happening?
Again, you don't have the strength to stop things from happening, because in truth, the strength doesn't come from actual strength. It's about who you know, about who you can buy, and if you can pay the price.
Oh God! Frey's gonna turn and look at him with a big smile, oozing as much pseudo confidence as he can. He's like, "Unfortunately, I'm not a tool that's for sale."
No, you're a tool that already gave yourself away.
Enjoy the rest of the fights, okay? And get yourself something to drink. It'll be good. Good for you.
Yeah, I will. I have a business arrangement that I need to procure. There's seems to be some kind of contract going around about a former slave. Seems to be in the area, and the owners are previous owners are very keen about reacquiring the individual. I'm thinking of buying the debt myself. I have individuals that can find this girl.
Let's see.
Yes, a rift elf.
Fer gets a very serious face. He's just like, I might be more interested in this proposition.
At this, he takes another drag of the cigar and says, "Good boy," and then he leaves.
That's it. Nothing else. He doesn't want me to follow him.
No, he just calls you a good boy and walks away. I think he's made it. He's very well. He has a smirk on his face as he walks away that instantly tells you that he's got what he wanted, because he always had a way of getting what he wanted, and he's played his part of his hand, and he sees that you see part of his hand.
Or we'll try and shake it off and crack his neck a bit as he slowly heads up and over. And then once I get about here, I'll put the big smile on, do like a little 2-finger salute to and be like, "Yo, Odachi!"
He rolls his eye, and the girl next to him taps and goes, "The bear wants you. I am trying to watch the fight. Please leave me alone."
Oh, Odachi, please! Oh, you're hurting my feelings, please. It'll be just a second, I promise.
The woman taps
Notice
him.
me, senpai.
Notice me sometime.
The woman slaps at his shoulder with the back of her hand again and goes, "I think the bear wants to talk to you. You're getting awfully popular with the little ragtag group, aren't you? First the octopod, and now the bear. Are you getting a bit of a fan club here, Nadachi?"
I imagine that while she's talking, Fern just repeating his name over and over again, but just in different voices.
He gets very. You can see he's very annoyed and storms his way over towards you. What do you want?
It's just like, I didn't want to take you too far away from your old boss person you're in charge of protecting. We'll slowly move this way over here so it's a little bit more private and not right next to things. Like, uh, so, consider this more just a peace offering. I got some news that my friends didn't necessarily give you a hard time, but they were kind of harassing you guys. And I, after my little proclamations, got something from a man that's sitting probably less than 30 feet away from you guys that let his cards down about how he wants to crush and absorb both you and the 13s.
He looks at you kind of blankly and then kind of squints and goes, "Yes."
And he and I don't get along. You and I, we can sort past our differences. I feel we can. That man, he would crush everyone that he thought was too strong, and then would take everyone else in your guys' gangs and use them as, well, slaves, tools, goods, commodities, whatever. Personally, there's not much I can do about him, but if given a chance, I would 100% kill him. However, if he becomes a thorn in your guys' sides too, and he pulls out the card for Dick, Dick's business card.
I thought you meant like a prostitution card.
It's his card for Dick. Yeah, it's great.
This guy has been bothering him, and he was going to use me essentially as a as a hitman for the poor Warforged. But I think you guys could probably work together and get him out of the picture if you wanted to.
You want me to kill the Warforged?
No. You and the Warforged can work together to get a certain individual out of the picture, so that you might not necessarily have to. So things might not have to get worse and escalate further than they might, because I would rather have a better relationship and a working relationship with you and the 13s than with the man with an elf fetish.
You've pulled me away from watching the fight to talk about some kind of plot when you have strolled in here, a few hours ago. This is not as simple as you make it seem. I don't just go and have a little word with this Dick individual and we make him go away. That's not how it works. If you knew anything about the individual you're plotting against, you would fully well know that a large chunk of the police force in this area are individuals whom he already has under his employment.
I'm pretty well aware that this isn't going to be a simple plot, and I'm 100% willing to pull my weight, as it were. But from someone that just had a nice dinner conversation with the Queen herself, I at least want to have good relations with most of the gangs here.
That will not happen if you are aligning yourself with the Queen.
Well, more like she said she would back me and get my name out there more, but
we will not work with you if you are in league with that dictator.
And Fur kind of nods and understanding. I was like, I can respect that, especially for those that have a lot of honor and codes and very specific. alignments. This is just more of a, I actually don't have anything against you or your group, and I would rather see you guys survive and thrive and succeed than, well, than him.
I will take your goodwill gesture and ensure that it is known. But understand, this does not buy you your way in the good books with us. This merely brings you back to a state of neutral after the debacles today.
Oh, of course. I came here mostly just as a peace offering. I didn't expect much more than that. I'm actually glad that you took the time to hear me out. And he'll pass the business card off and just basically be like, take care of yourself and continue doing a good job over there. From what I heard from my friends, you are a pretty damn good protector.
I offer you one piece of honest advice as an individual who has been in this for some time. You cannot get everyone to work with you because there are individuals who will outright refuse to work with someone else. You're trying to eat your cake and have it too. This will not work.
And Burr gives him an actual genuine smile. I was like, I don't believe for a second that it will, but I think a lot of understanding people, while maybe not aligning themselves with me or considering themselves my allies, might at least be willing to acknowledge and tolerate my presence, as opposed to wanting to consume it themselves.
Rejoin your companions and go. You have taken up enough of my time. Your goodwill gesture has been accepted, and I have provided what wisdom I am patient enough to imbibe to you right now.
Okay. Have a good rest of the night. And as Odachi's walking away, like, bye, Odachi!
Please, why?
Give him the heart hands.
I prefer give him the hard hands.
Tanto notices this, and the moment that Nodachi gets back to his position, she seems to whisper something into his ear, and you can see he's very not pleased with whatever is being whispered into his ear.
Frere will go and wait by the entrance and kind of just message the group and be like, okay, my business is done, and yeah. I'll be at the entrance waiting for you guys.
Hector is going to just make his way in silence towards where Freya is. If anyone else would like to do anything else with anyone else in this place, by all means, this is the opportunity to do it. If not, that's cool. We can continue on.
While it's just talks and I hear, I just mentioned to her real quick that I'm sorry that you were forced to reveal things that you weren't ready to reveal. You shouldn't have been made to do that. Having to reveal things against your will does not make anybody a better teammate, a better friend, a better anything. Willingly. Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
We dropped out for a little bit there. Sorry, the internet went down.
That's okay. I thought there was a bit of an issue there.
Okay. Then I will repeat myself.
Yes, do it.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was saying that since it's just talks and I hear, I would stop her and say that I'm sorry that you were forced to reveal things that you were uncomfortable and unprepared to reveal against your will. No one should be made to reveal those things when they aren't ready to reveal them. Having to reveal such things like that to people you aren't ready to reveal them to doesn't make anybody a better teammate or a better friend. Trusting us when you're ready to is what makes us friends.
And Tox would give you a friendly nod and be like, I appreciate that you at least recognize that. And it's not like I gave a tremendous amount of info out anyway. I just, it was pent up a bit, and she did something to exasperate it, and it just came out. I'm sure you and the others are probably interested in what I said, but I know you understand that I'm going to give you more on that when I feel it's the right time to.
I figured that would be the case. So, if and when you're prepared to let us in further, then I'll be there to listen.
I appreciate that, 17.
What friends are for.
Yeah. And then
Let's go pick on Adachi.
I have a question regarding the human thumb over here.
Go ahead. Ask your question regarding. I'm pretty sure I gave him a name. Let me check. Yeah. There we go.
What, like,
His name.
what am I looking?
His name there is Sergei Drakenhall. There you go. Human thumb.
Oh, he is a Sergey.
He is a Sergei.
He's the Wish version of Kingpin.
I only knew one Sergey in the past, and he was also
A human thumb.
I'm surprised you knew a Sergei. But yes, what is your question about Sergei?
well. I just want to know, what am I looking at? Like what is his body language? What is his demeanor in here?
How much of a thumb is he?
Does he look? Is he making this exact expression of just disgust at all times?
He is making that exact expression of disgust right now as the fight's going on because he's feeling bored. What you would roll me a perception check. 'Cause there's some stuff I can. There is actually some interesting stuff I can point out, but I want to see just how. Oh wow! So that's fantastic. So there are some very key things from here that you point out. It's pointed out to you after you actually spend some time looking at him, and that's that you can see there are some suits. Is the best way of describing them. They are around him specifically. These individuals are you've dealt with slavers that have had a entourage of bodyguards because of how big of a slaver they are. You've dealt with those people before, and with your experience of that, you know what it looks like when there are bodyguard trying to not look like they're protecting someone, but have to be protecting someone. And you immediately can tell that those guys around him are protecting him specifically. He's a very...
I like the
Yeah, suits. He's a very specifically kind of bulky individual where it's like you can't quite tell if it's fat or muscle, but you can tell either way. Yeah. So either way, if a fight happened, you probably wouldn't want to get into close range of the individual. He looks disgruntled and disgusted. But it's a disgruntledness of boredom. Maybe the fight hasn't quite kicked off yet, and he's not quite enjoying it, and that's what's pushing him. He's very well dressed. He's wearing a grey suit with a purple kind of cravat tie. Again, like most of the individuals over in this kind of area, he's very business. You can tell that he is in some kind of business, whether that be a front to the real activities that he makes his money in, or if he actually is just a businessman.
Oh, there's no such thing as just a businessman.
No such thing as just a businessman. But yes, that's what I could tell you about Sergey. That's quite a lot. The big one is obviously that you can tell that those people around him are 100% his bodyguard.
Alright, I like the thought that I know this probably isn't 100% how it looks, but I like the thought that they just look like that token where they're wearing the suit and they have the red tie and the sunglasses and they're like, all right, we're going to like this grungy underground fight ring. How do we blend in?
Yeah.
Just like
What I appreciate is that these three are obviously suits protecting him. Then there's this guy. His personal ball scrubber.
It's his lawyer. In case anything happens, he's got to be there to.
It's his personal ball holder when he goes to the bathroom.
He's the one that carries the money.
His name is Dimitri.
Oh, of course it is.
Alright, yeah, he caught my eye. I needed to know more.
No, that's fine. I'll give some of the names over here. So we've got Sergey, we've got Dimitri, and we've got P60-Delta.
That guy.
Yeah, that's that guy right there.
It's the business warforged.
You know why he is the business warforged?
Why? He wears a suit.
No, because P60 is the name of the form you get given when you're fired in the UK.
Oh,
that's
it's the dumbest joke ever. But yeah,
so much.
He's the P60 robot. He's the robot that gets you fired.
I'm gonna specifically walk behind the top bleachers.
fair.
Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you okay with being seen?
I mean, I'll try to be stealthy.
Okay, roll me a stealth check. Ooh. As you scroll by, a certain someone does notice you.
Oh no, is it consent isn't necessary, Mr. Raymond Rapist Costello?
Yes, it is in fact Raymond the Rapist Costello. Who told you his middle name? I didn't put that here. He takes notice to you and how quickly you walk away, and very prominently gets up and makes his way towards you and towards your group, and very specifically looks at Tox and goes, I thought you were going to come and join me after your not friends fight.
Oh, we're not friends?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Not friends. Winks at you.
Fur's ears go down. Oh.
Right. I have some business to attend to with some people that I can't really say no to.
He looks at the group and he goes, are these lads and octopods bothering you? Because I can ensure that they would never bother you ever again.
No, that's not the case this time. You see, I had some business with the owner of this establishment, and they wanted me to go with these individuals.
He looks at you, he looks at them, he looks at you, he looks at them and goes, well, I can always slip some funds to the owner myself so that you wouldn't have to have the night with them, but perhaps some time with me.
Internally vomits.
So,
kind of.
Freya, roll me an insight check. Same with Tox. I wanna see if you can work something out. It's very low. Right. So Freya, you get it. Maybe it's because this is a male thing. But he's insinuating that he thinks that Tox has been paid as a prostitute. And he is basically saying, "Oh, I'll go pay more than they've paid, so that you can spend the night with me instead of with them." That's what you get. Tox, you're too grossed out by this man being around you to fully comprehend what he's saying.
Frere actually will, like, essentially grab her hand gently and kind of pull her behind him a little bit more. And is just like, more like, the owner of the establishment wanted to keep an eye on her newest asset.
He looks at you and he looks at the way you've grabbed Tox and he goes, "Not very nice of you grabbing her like that."
Frere's just like, unfortunately, she had a rough time. She got scolded by the queen a little bit, and she's just out of it.
Doesn't excuse you grabbing her like that, though, does it?
No, but if she's the queen's property, then it's my job to protect it as her new asset.
I thought you and me had an arrangement, Mr. Bear.
Frere looks at him and is like, I have a lot of arrangements with a lot of people. Loyalty doesn't go far in places like this.
No, it doesn't. But I remember when individuals who I've procured go and flaunt themselves around the rest of the competition. That's something I'll remember.
Frere nods and says, I do hope you have a good memory.
Oh, I do. I have a good memory of a bear like you and all your little friends. You're very distinctive. You stick out very easily.
You know, that's the... Why are you laughing, Tara? Tara, what is it? Tara,
that's really dumb.
I thought it was because I said Mr. Bear.
It's the bear.
Oh, it's that too, but I can just so perfectly imagine Frere looking Raymond just dead in the face and going, "You bombad sex offender." That mental image to me is really funny.
And Frere will kind of look at him like, well, you know, I haven't really been trying to keep a low profile. If I was worried about sticking out, why would I ever make such a declaration towards all that could hear me down here?
That's true, but, well, we'll see how things go. You know what? While you were gone, I was thinking. And you want to know what I was thinking, Mr. Bear?
What's up?
It's very rare to see a bear like you. You're not exactly the average bear, are you?
Oh no, I'm not the average bear. I don't go for picnic baskets. I spend a lot of time just filling up caskets.
Yeah. I just thought it was peculiar, because I remember, you know, a couple odd years ago, there was someone like you who was owned by a fella I knew. A nasty thing happened to him. He got run into one of those justice-y types. Always wondered who it was, and yeah, I remember that he had a fella like you in his employ. Always wondered what happened to that fella. Didn't see him in the corpses.
That fellow was weak. I killed him years ago.
So you killed a compatriot of mine then, huh?
Fair smile, like, yeah, he kind of got in my way, and I told him to leave, and real insistent on not letting me pass.
Well, that's almightily disappointing, that. I thought you and me, I thought we could be friends. I thought we could have an understanding. I thought we could have a mutual understanding, and make something together. But well, if you're gonna play it like that way, well, I guess you're gonna.
First, I kind of smiles at him and was like, well, if it makes you feel any better, I've already got something in the works to take care of and keep Mr. Dick chewing on a bone for a long, long time. So consider that just a nice thing for approaching me.
Don't worry about Mr. Dick. The only thing that he's going to be chewing on is a barrel of a gun in a few days, so don't you worry about him. Awful thing happens. These detectives, they work themselves to the bone, or I guess to the core, in his sense, and then things get too much of them, and then they turn their gun on themselves. It's a terrible thing that happens. Terrible thing.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
As Ray was walking, he was like, "Bye, Raymond!"
He walks up to 17, looks you up and down, and
Nice.
Okay, not as crass as that, but he looks you up and down and seems to blow some smoke into your face with a smirk, and it's yeah, you can incite the smirk all you want, but you can know what you know what he's thinking. It's not nice.
He wishes he had tits like 17.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you know that's when you find out that he replaced his dick with a USB years ago.
Yeah, so that's Raymond having made his own threats.
So it comes afterwards. Frere kind of like looks at Tox like, "You okay?"
I mean, he didn't, he's not doing anything, so I'm fine for now.
Frere looks at very concerned. He's looking at you, raising the eyebrow.
I tried to get information from him earlier. Our friend Dick, that apparently we are throwing under the bus, helped me out.
I'm not throwing him under the bus. I gave his business card to the Seven Dragons for them to work alongside him and potentially give, hopefully, protection as a useful asset.
I'm mildly concerned that Mr. Raymond's threat was implying that he is going to have that detective killed and make it look like a suicide.
Yeah.
I mean, we can kill him first.
I don't think it's
Frere
quite
doesn't
as
point
easy
his
as
fingers. We could. Suppose it's better to get this out now. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more later. Talks. But actually, Frere will message her first and inform Tox about the quote unquote deal prescribed by Dominic about a Rift Elf slave that had escaped whose debt / contract he was thinking of buying.
Yep. Because the owner was gone, but the person who held it above the owner was not.
Yeah, and we'll say he said it with specific things to rile me up, and it did work, but I can only assume he's talking about you.
I mean, there are a lot of Rift Elves out there, and a lot of them are probably slaves. Who's to say it's for sure me?
You have a point. If you want to bring this up with the rest of the group, I won't bring it up unless you want to bring up the possibility of this. Because I'm not going to let anyone take you.
Of course. We can talk about it when we get back. I'm not sure we really have the resources to look into it much here, anyway.
We don't. The Frere stretches himself and tries to put on the happy, cheery voice, and is just like, Tox, where's the whip? Where's the whip you have? Did all this for one specific thing, and then we just decided to use your whip.
I mean, I've got it right here.
Coolio, get back up. He's like, we're gonna give it to the guy to get you a magic whip.
Yeah, because that's what this was all for.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna copy and paste you guys all because obviously remember this is directly below the hidden market, the black market. I don't think you guys are already on that map. Oh, you were. I'll delete those versions of you.
Not our past selves.
I'll delete your past selves so that you never actually exist.
No!
So you come up around there, and yes, if you remember that this was all for a upgrade to one of Tox's whips. So Guile is over there. He is still in his booth, so you may now approach him.
Fur would ask for Tox's whip.
I would hand him my whip.
Fur will march and stick his chest out slightly and put it down on the table and be like, all right, brought you a whip. The crazy Diamundo should still be working.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got you the whip. You said you were going to take a chunk of it and fix it up all magically.
Yeah, but I can't do that like straight away. It's not that quick.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, how long would you think this will take, Guile?
A couple of hours, give or take.
Okay. About what time is it, Helena?
It is now nighttime. It is about 6-7 o'clock in the evening. The reason was that your match was much earlier. Your match was the like I said, the warm up fight, and then this is the main event that's going on there now. Is the big fight.
I'm not for like, okay, so how about I come back like in the morning-ish sometime tomorrow? Sound good?
Yeah, you know what? That's good. That's good. You come back tomorrow and I'll have it ready for you.
All right, coolio. Thanks a bunch, Guile. You've worked great for me.
As you're having that conversation, you notice that Ektor seemed a bit distant, and Ektor looks back to the rest of you and says, "We need to get back to the barracks. It seems that something's going on, and the person above me, Siegfried, is looking for us, so we need to make our way back with haste."
Bro kind of gets a little bit more serious and looks back at Hector and says, "Okie dokie, we'll get back there right away."
Is everything okay?
I don't know. I've just been informed that Siegfried is there and is looking for us. He tried to contact us. I imagine when we were down in the arena, there was probably some kind of field or static preventing us from being contacted. That's why we didn't get it, but we need to get back there soon. It's probably something that he's not going to say unless it's face to face.
Yeah, I would imagine they would have some kind of communication block down there.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna then poof off.
Away we go.
What is that thing? It's gross. Kill it. Looks like a cockroach that suddenly stands up erect.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Is this like the erect Aki moment?
Wait, you're talking about that individual?
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I couldn't see the white because I was zoomed out. So it literally just looked like there was a bunch of like yellow legs coming out from the side of this really skinny.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought the same thing.
I was like, oh no! What are these monsters?
I knew what the token was, so I was just like, what? What is this?
Like
telling us?
when you're zoomed out, it looks like just a bunch of little legs.
I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, wait, have I put you on a wrong map by mistake? Oh shit, what have I put you? And I was like, no, I haven't. Okay.
It looked like a really large, like, insectoid creature. I'm like, we're gonna fucking die. That's your boss?
All this time that Siegfried was just a giant insect.
Yeah, just like Men in Black.
Yeah. That's me.
Right, so yes, you arrive back after a short amount of distance, and you are instantly greeted by the fact that previously there were a bunch of AAF guards in there, but now they actually seem to be taking up positions. You've got 2 that are taking up position at the very front door, 2 in the next door, you've got another one which you guys have previously spoken to over there, and Taki is already there waiting for you, and she doesn't look pleased. Upon seeing the group, she says, "Oh, thank God, I'm glad that you're here. Siegfried's in the next room and he needs to speak to you already. He's tried contacting you, but your communications weren't working. I don't know why. You're somewhere you shouldn't have been or something."
Yeah, probably someplace we shouldn't have been. Not my fault. Take the blame for that one.
Alright, well, whatever you do, he needs to speak to you. I know he needs to speak to Hector, but he's probably going to address all of you about it. So just, try and remember that this is like the commander above your commander. So just try and keep it businesslike as much as you can, okay?
Yeah.
She then immediately rushes in.
Looks at Hector and it's just like, so anything I say or do will look badly on you, right?
This is going to be interesting, and yes, if you say anything out of line, it will 100% look badly on me.
He will make the gesture like he'll pull up his black pants just a little bit more and be like, alright, I'll do my best to be proper.
He looks at you and goes, "Why even bother with the pants?"
Because I have balls, Hector! It just screams that.
Hector quickly makes his way in.
That statement reflects on Hector. You ask that, you confirm that everything you say reflects on him. So everybody that just heard that,
So everyone that just heard that is reflecting on him. Good job.
You said, why do I bother with the thing?
like that, it's just the balls. Like the shaft is fine. Everybody can see that, but I want those balls hidden away.
Yeah, everyone's fine. Yeah, confirmed that Freya 100% fine with people seeing the shaft. We're seeing the peen. We're seeing the end with everything in that region. But oh god, no, the balls. Censor the balls.
To be fair, if I was in charge of like a hentai or something where they were like censorship was mandatory, I would just censor the balls.
I mean, is it any different than people freaking out about nipples? Like,
Yeah.
you can have the rest of the boob, but as long as you got a pasty there, it's fine, because
Yeah, so if I put pasty on my balls, is that okay?
much, I guess.
If I put pasties on my balls, is that okay?
Should we? No. What we need is like a sock for your ball.
The ball sock! Actually, it's more like a mitten if you wanted to hide the shaft as well.
No, you don't want to hide the shaft. The shaft is fine. It's just the balls. You want like pants for your balls.
Sock. The ball sock.
Why the fuck is? How did we fucking get to this? I don't. Okay, you know what? This is madness. Okay, you go in the room. Hector's there. There's a bunch of guards. There's the Commander Siegfried. The person above Hector, you can tell that because his name is much longer. You can tell that because look how big his name is. He's definitely a big important person. As you go in, he kind of glances over all of you. Hector kind of performs a bit of a salute in sign of respect, and
Or does the two-finger salute like he did to Odachi? It's just...
you could see that Siegfried is not amused. And he looks across the group and goes, "I've not had the time to formally introduce myself to all of you. I'm sure Hector has made you aware of exactly who I am."
Yeah, you're the boss man. You're the boss of our boss because other bosses don't really want to talk or deal with us.
Quite. I will put it bluntly. I'm here to speak with you all in regards to the current situation. As you are probably aware, or I hope that each and every one of you are aware, we are currently on war footing against an unknown enemy. We have declared that we are at war against them, but we have no idea whom it is we've actually declared war against. This puts us in a predicament. We are dealing with multiple factors of this conflict, or what could become a conflict at once. And so, from now on, I will be redistributing some of your team to more vital points of the war effort. The long and short of it is that two of your individuals, Eleanor and Flipnork, will be taken from this unit and will be placed into another for the time being. I assume that you have opinions on this, Hector. He then turns and looks at Hector, and Hector goes to say something for a moment and then quietens a second and says, "We were the first people the only individuals currently, other than a few AAF guards that managed to get out of the conflict, that have dealt with the ground zero of this conflict. Do you think it is wise to divide up that team right now?" There's a moment of silence, and Siegfried responds with that, "I understand what you're saying, Hector, and I have raised that with the people above myself. However, they have made the decision that this has to happen. So no matter what point you want to make, it's going to happen. None of you can stop this. The choice has already been made. I'm not here to get your opinion on it. I'm here to tell you that it's happening and to take those team members to their new location. This isn't a discussion. This is an order."
Will anybody be replacing them, or is it just going to be the three of us?
For the time being, there will be no replacement sent to you. We do not feel that your team is in any position that requires more force than you already have. If you were a more frontline unit, you were someone in the thick of conflict at the moment, we would consider it. But for now, you have enough firepower in who you are and the equipment that we can provide. You also still have your support staff of Toki and your Medicaid professional now. So, as far as we're concerned, you have enough staff that you need for this. There's a hush that happens as people seem to go quiet, and Hector speaks up again and says, "But we have some leads towards this. We have ways that we can advance trying to find Cyan and trying to find the culprits. I think it is unwise for us to divide a team like this. The whole point of these Black Op teams is that we are supposed to know each member of them and be able to work as a unit. If you divide the unit, then there's no way then we can do what we're supposed to be doing." At this, Siegfried seems to raise a hand in order to almost shush him and says, Hector, I have told you, the decision has been made. This is not a matter for debate. You are in no position to debate right now. You are here and you are leading this team. This was a courtesy that we gave to you because of the good work that you have done for us previously. Do not push the goodwill that has been provided to you any more than you already have.
Rare will put his paw, his big meaty paw, and his toe beans on Hector's shoulder, and will kind of clear his throat. Knight Commandant Siegfried, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really get to meet you, and not really, and I'm working with you guys, but unofficially, technically, because I am dead. But while I'm sure Hector is appreciative that you're still giving him a chance and the such after what's happened because of his previous work, it's kind of a harsh punishment to force him to essentially try and become friends and get to know a bunch of people on a personal basis with the a high likelihood of him having to kill us himself too at some point. It seems kind of like a cruel, ironic gift and courtesy, don't you think?
The gift is, Mr. Freya, that he still has a position with us, that he still has a position in the AAF, and that he, quite frankly, wasn't imprisoned for what's happened. That is the actual gift.
Prison. That's harsh. Man couldn't, just like mans couldn't cut down a person he considered a friend, traitor or not. I mean, but that's like asking me to kill Tox. I couldn't do it even if she became an evil bitch.
What you don't understand is what that says. Think for a moment in a tactical mindset. A individual has become a traitor, has sold away any loyalty that they had for us, for a government. You then send someone to deal with that. Someone who you know has superior skills. Someone who you know has some kind of history with that individual. And he looks directly at Hector as he says this, then turns back to look at you, Freya. And then the superior force happens to lose.
No, it's because of the conflict of interest.
No. It reeks of there being a second traitor.
Well, Hector wouldn't be so down and dumpy if he was a traitor.
We do not know that.
Man practically reeks of desperation for Xanax.
We do not know the intent of the individual. We gave him a second chance, rejoining in this specific unit, for him to prove to us that he is not a traitor akin to that individual. By coming into conflict with us in something that is not a discussion. I remind you, this is not a discussion. This is a decision that's been made already.
That's why I could never get in with government types.
Well,
Not like the government types ever gave me a chance, but I understand to a degree, and I think Hector's performed admirably.
you notice that as this discussion's happened, Hector has quite obviously been very very quiet as this extra discussion of him being a traitor and essentially being almost charged with treason. He's been extra quiet and is just looking at. He looked at Siegfried and then obviously turned kind of towards you as you said that last part. Siegfried then pipes back up and says, whatever you believe or wish or wish to state, that does not change this simple fact, and this simple fact is that Eleanor and Flipnork will no longer be part of your unit. I'm not here to discuss it, I'm here to take them.
That's fair. I have faith in them. They're strong. Almost as strong as me. So they'll be fine, and when they're done helping you guys out, they can come back to our team, and we can go back to doing what we do best.
Good. We do not know who we are facing still, and you have mentioned that you have some leads. I suggest that you follow them, and that you find who is behind this. As he says that, he beckons for Elena to come over, and since it's an order that she was given, she goes over towards him, and then Flipnork, I would imagine, pines looking at you sadly for a moment, and then goes over towards the others, and then they make their way.
I will tell Flipnork to knock him dead.
He gives you a thumbs up akin to a child who might be typing something on a computer and then turn his head to you and thumbs up you. And then walks out. And then that group goes bye-bye. And the moment that Siegfried is completely out of the building, Hector makes a very exaggerated, annoyed sigh before making his way over to one of the chairs to sit down.
Furs, you're like, don't sigh like that, Hector. I'm sorry about the Xanax joke. I'm sure Doc can get you some.
He places his left robotic hand against his forehead and kind of shakes it slightly. He says, No, it's not that at all, Freya. Just don't concern yourself about it. But I did essentially lie. We don't have any real leads. We have nothing essentially at the moment. So. I don't even know why I said that.
Frere sits his butt down. I'm like, well, unfortunately, I mean, I'll always concern myself with it because you guys are priority number 2 after talks for me. Kinda sucks.
I'm glad to know that we are a combined priority 2.
Listen, 17, don't be like that. We bears, we have a list, and you guys, all of you are sitting firmly above cheese curds. I like fried cheese.
Yes, I know.
But unfortunately, Hector, problems that we'll face. Face them together. It's what we do.
It's not that easy, however, these people don't understand that I've given literal limbs. They, exaggerate the gestures with the left robotic arms. I don't understand how they don't see that I've given literal.
Oh. Did we die from the chat? Did we die from the call?
Yes. Everybody died.
Everybody died. Helena! Is it just Helena that came? Did Helena die?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Let's make a break for it.
Just make a break for it. Oh, and she boogie woogie just right. It's gonna be my favorite face to use. Oh shit! No! Don't use the Miwet!
I think I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
I would hear you.
I believe you are back.
That was very
Oh, God.
weird. I died there for a second, but I'm back. Yeah, so I'll just why? Why? God. Okay. So, Helena, I will go back to exactly what Hector was saying. Hector was essentially gesturing with his robotic arm, and he was saying that I don't understand why I lose literal limbs for these people, and they still believe that I'm some kind of traitor.
It's because they need a fall guy and people to blame on. And you're the easiest target for them. It's not fair and it's not right.
That's unfortunately how it'll always be. They'll always find someone who is beneath them in one standing or another, whether it's rank, whether it's in a position of power, whether it's just in reputation, to be the fall guy, to be the person of blame. You can give literally an arm and a leg, and it won't matter.
As you said that, Tucky holds up the number 2 with her fingers and goes, "Oh no, he gave 2 legs. Sorry. Okay.
To be honest, the system has always been broken, and it's not going to be fixed. You can give everything you want to it, but it's not going to get better.
People will always look to blame someone else so that they don't have to fall down a rung.
Yeah.
How it always was, it's how it's always going to be.
Hopefully not forever.
I guess
Forever.
this is why you took the path that you did.
One of the reasons.
I'm hoping to get strong enough to change things.
Speaking of which, I think we perhaps need to discuss what happened over dinner.
No, I like this conversation a lot better.
That's fair.
While I
I'm-
understand, I do believe we need to discuss it.
I'm still adamant of the belief that those discussions should happen when individuals feel that they want to discuss them.
As you say that, Taki looks around and goes, "You guys ate without me?"
Yeah. Gang boss, the biggest gang boss.
I mean, I didn't technically eat.
That's true. You can't technically eat.
I
Where are
had
we-
the sensation of eating, though.
Wait, what?
I can't really explain it, but they gave me food and told me to attempt to eat it, and when I did, I had the sensation of taste.
No, that's not technically possible. There's no way for an iron forge to get the sensation of eating. That's not how it works.
I'm telling you, I tasted what was there.
But that's not possible. It's not theoretically feasible.
Myra seemed like she had a good idea of something of what was going on. Didn't she egg you on to eat anyway, 17?
Yes, she kept pushing me to to order something, and when something was given to me anyway, she kept pushing me to eat what was there, or at least try it.
But that's not. You can see that Taki's very like confused because to her what you're saying is impossible. She's a person of science and understanding of even of the arcane, still the science of that, and what you're saying to her doesn't make sense. So she's very visibly confused, and she's mind blowing as she tries to say to you, but you know. That's not ever happened. There's not any record at all of an Ironforge being able to taste. Ironforge can eat. Some actually do eat, but they don't actually get any taste from it.
I if you want to test it, we can test it. We can turn off my vision so I don't know what's being prepared, and I can I can test it, and I can tell you if I know what it is.
I mean, we can give it a try. Someone blindfold her.
I I go the easier route, and I deactivate my
Ocular
my
senses.
yeah. So the room and literally everything is just completely dark to me.
Taki rushes over towards the machinery that creates your food, and then quickly rushes back. Everyone around can see that on a dish, she seems to be having some kind of. There's a bowl that seems to have some kind of mashed potato like substance. She quickly runs over and she places it on the table before 17 and says, "Right, okay, there's a bowl of something on the table in front of you. Eat it. Tell me what it is."
Okay. I reach around for a moment for finding the eating utensil, and I will scoop up some of the food, and I will place it up to where I would think my mouth should be, and after a moment, I would describe the fact that it tastes like buttery garlic mashed potatoes.
No, there's no way you could. No, that's not. She then takes the bowl and rushes back over towards the machine, and this time gets something completely different. She creates a plate of cold spaghetti and rushes back over towards you and places it before you and goes, "Alright, try that. There's a plate right in front of you. Try that."
Okay. I would take a forkful of it, and I would repeat the process, and if I could gag just at because just cold spaghetti sounds awful.
It is. It's fucking terrible.
It's, it it tastes it tastes like cold pasta,
There's no
like
fucking
spaghetti.
way. There's no fucking way. You can't. No, I don't. That's not possible.
I don't understand how it's possible either, but she knew that I could do this.
Did you ever do this before? Is this something that happened before? Was this something you were able to do before to just to taste food without actually eating it?
And not that I am consciously aware of. I've never tried.
Alright. She then grabs a hold of your big robotic claw, says, alright, we're running diagnostics right now. There's gotta be something that explains this. A glitch or a rewire or just, there's gotta be some actual reason for how you can do this. You're coming with me. You're coming with me. Would you willingly allow yourself to be dragged away by Taki? Yeah? No?
I ask if she thinks it has something to do with the virus that I've been trying repeatedly to have her look at for me.
I mean, I highly doubt that a virus is able to give you taste. But, I mean, maybe? But I can't guarantee that it is.
I guess so. I mean, I was kind of liking the taste of things.
No, we're not going to get rid of it. I want to try and see what's causing it. I just want to
Okay.
see what's making this happen.
Okay.
She then drags you away into the room with that dreaded individual that we all love, Doc, who seems to be staring at you as you come in. Seeing that it is just him, Freya, and Tox, Hector looks at the two of you and gets a feeling that perhaps he should make himself vamoose for a moment and darts his way off into his room. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, did they drop again?
They did. Oh no.
Man, everybody's having problems.
Technical issue. It's very clear that that the world doesn't want us to return to this game.
Hello, we're back. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello.
There's the hot garbage, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Long story short, Taki has been taken away by Taki has taken away 17 to try to get to the bottom of how they're able to taste again. They're going to be running diagnostics and tests on them. Hector saw that it was just then the three of you and felt a bit of a tension and almost felt as if something was telling him, I should go because I feel like these two need to speak about something. And so promptly made his way back to his room. Oh no. Oh no. Is it died again?
I don't know.
Unclear. If it has died again, I'll end it there and we'll pick back up in next week. Because if it's gonna keep doing that, it's just gonna keep frustrating them, and I don't want them to get frustrated.
Hello.
oh my fucking god.
Did he die
Okay.
again?
Yeah, you did. Okay, I'm gonna sum up quickly that Hector has left so that you guys can have a discussion, but because you're having some dropping issues. It's my suggestion that I don't want to like get into that discussion and then you guys sadly drop in the middle of it. So I'm gonna end it there for now. We've gotten out of the encounter that we're in, and we've dealt with the big elephant in the room. So now we're good to continue plowing on. But I think just for the sake of I don't want you guys to drop out in the middle of like an actual like serious conversation.
It was good. It was actually doing real good up until like 10 minutes ago when we just decided to die like 4 times in a row.
It just decided, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Iowa is a great place.
We never had this issue in
lives
Texas.
here.
Yeah, we never had this issue in Texas.
It's the
I'm gonna be real
corn.
here.
The corn's blocking the signal.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real here. If I can,
So Iowa, they're coming.
if I can convince Will and Jesse to move to Texas, I would 100% have me and Tara become the roommates, move back down there, and I'll just go back to work at RLS.
Clickety clack, it's a plan.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's one that Jesse will want to do just because it's a huge decision to make.
It is a huge decision, but hey, it could happen. But I'm gonna end the recording there, and I'm gonna end the game there. We can obviously still talk. I'm happy to do that, but I think just because of drop-ins and outs, and I don't want you guys to have to repeat having a serious conversation between Freya and Tok. So I'm gonna end it there.